Good day everyone, I am Shanice Mariel Riph-Vergara from Group 1 and today I will be discussing two subtopics about the Alfred McCoy and Alfredo Roces political caricatures of the American era. So we have two different subtopics and those are the returning student or El Estudiante Velve and next is Brothers Under the Skin or Hermanos en el Fondo. So first, let's talk about the returning student or El Estudiante Velve. It is published under Philippine Free Press on April 6, 1929 and it can be seen on page 99. So as the Manila grew as the country's hub for the higher education during the 1920s, the annual march tradition of the urbane student returning to his hometown was practiced in barrios all over the archipelago. While he was still a student, he was required to spend the summers back in the village, although a villager's tertiary education and graduation typically permitted him to move out of the barrio and accept a position in the city's civil service. So, I will give you some time to critically analyze this caricature. So, this caricature shows the ordinary Filipino inhabitants and a man who was wearing a formal attire and carrying a suitcase who seems to be educated in prestigious school. So those characters, we can easily identify them due to the clothes or attires that they are wearing and also with the help of our knowledge or information during the American period. So the environment or the setting in the caricature indicates the location or place where a certain event has occurred. It can also be seen in the caricature that it takes place in a barrio, which could be the hometown of the man in formal attire. He was also walking proud like he owns that place, which signifies that he was born in that place. Next is the gesture and the expression of those characters reveal that the events are happening during that time. Those neighbors who are looking at the man who is wearing different attire from them are so impressed and seem so shocked by his arrival. It also depicts that the arrival of the person who left his village to be able to obtain the opportunity to study in Manila and be taught by Thomasites. So, for your information, Thomasites are the term used for those students who academically excelled and were sent to the United States to study in a school with high quality of education and become experts in their professions. In the caricature, we can also see that he now came back to his hometown and, as what I've said earlier, walking proud due to the achievements that he obtained. And during the American period, those students who will be able to learn and finish their studies in schools such as UP and PNU, which were established in that period, will be treated with respect and admired by others. So, there are three main topics or three main factors that I've observed in those caricature. First is the arrogance or misbehavior of educated people. Next is the exploitation and discrimination. And third is the division between the educated and uneducated people. So some people who studied in such schools would become more arrogant since they knew that they were much better than those who did not have a chance to be able to enroll and learn in those schools. So at that time, not every people who were educated enough to understand and learn much information and knowledge about their society and politics. Only those people who had high grades and are excelling in academics would be given opportunities to study in schools with high quality of education. So next, we are going to talk about the brothers under the skin, or the Hermanos en el Fondo. It is also published under the Philippines Free Press on June 18, 1938, and it can be seen on page 1. In 1930s, the growth of social struggle and socialist ideology in Central Luzon was visible. So in this case, the free press was forced to concentrate on social issues rather than the bucolic nonsense and its provincial coverage. So in honor of Rizal, our national hero, whose birthday was the day after, Brothers Under the Skin calls for Filipino to put an end to social unrest and treat one another fairly. So the commoners in Central Luzon organized strikes and protests to demand tenancy reforms as the crisis grew worse. So the landlords in the provinces of Pampanga, Tarlac, and Nueva Ecija demanded concessions but were met with goon squad repression. So this is the caricature I am talking about. We can see our national hero at the back. So this work urges Filipino to end social conflict and deal with each other humanely. So when Filipinos began winning civil service appointments after 1913, they found themselves facing serious discrimination in both wages and positions. So the liberal Governor General, Francis B. Harrison, read the Pro. It is about American hiring policies of the Taft era from 1900s to 1912 and began the Filipinization of the civil service. So that's all, and thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. Thank you.